Yo, it's Versus. I think this is episode 30. I'm John Maher. That's Will Cohen. Jagged Edge never met a concept they don't want to make two movies about. I think no matter what the movie is, they'll make another one. But Will, how you doing today?
I'm I'm doing great. I'm just sitting here just wondering what the fuck we're even going to talk about here, but we're going to do our best to skewer another film for
It's
you
going to
guys.
be a short one today. Dragon Fury we did last week. They ran it back. Dragon Fury, Wrath of Fire.
I don't know what you think you know, but this is not going to be a walk in the park. There are real dangers out there, and I don't mean just from those monsters, but from the military as well. Now, I don't mean to scare you, but you should be scared. Fear is a good motivator. It can sometimes mean the difference between life and death.
Or as that trailer calls it, Dragon Fury too. But we all know this. Experts in this movie is Dragon Fury, Wrath of Fire.
Except if you watched it on Tubi like I did, then it's actually called Dragon Fury: Return to the Mountain. This movie has 3 titles, 3, just about as many dragons as it has,
Return
and
to the
somehow
Mountain.
and somehow that's twice as much of what we have to talk about.
Yeah, Return to the Mountain is the entire plot of the movie. They Return to the Mountain. I'm gonna ask the same questions I asked the last time. The cold open is another two random people that know exactly where this mountain is, know that there are dragons there, and know that they're not supposed to be there,
Pot 2 miles away, so we don't get caught.
and they go there and they get killed. And if you watch the trailer, which we just showed you, basically the whole opening of the movie is there, just shown out of order.
Yeah. Again,
And,
again, in typical Jagged Edge fashion, at some point during the movie with one of these films, you get to a point where you realize that the people dying is just strengthening the gene pool for the rest of the world.
Yeah.
You get this feeling instantly in that cold open, and it doesn't
The
get
thing
better.
is, like, those two go there. Okay, I'm gonna just keep piling on. Like, they know about it. There's like dozens of newspaper articles when we cut back to the main character where they're discrediting her. But even through discrediting her, like there's way too much media around this place. And again, these are dragons that fly, and nothing is containing them to this mountain. And they're clearly near civilization because the people drive past houses and they're flushed towards that like industrial thing that has new signage up on it. It's like this old dilapidated signage. So like these dragons are near civilization. So we should be living in a world where people know that there are dragons there, I think, but they don't know.
So the only thing I can think of, and again, I know I'm giving this movie way too much credit because they did not think this through. They don't care. The only thing I can think of, to justify part of it, is that they, at least up front here, kind of tell you that the military is involved in this. And so, what does the military usually do? They usually like buy up all the airspace. So at least I can at least I can understand like how no one has like flown over this shit and discovered the dragons there.
I believe that, but how are they stopping the dragons from flying out without killing them?
And that one I don't have the answer to.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because
No.
these dragons are very mobile. They're flying all over the place. There's houses and shit. Like
even if you don't see them flying, though, John, these things are just loud as fuck.
Oh,
Like,
they're
they're just shouting and like immolating everything they fucking see. That makes so much racket, and this is like that sound is going to be bouncing off those mountains out
Not
into
to mention
the valley.
the random folks that get killed in the beginning of the first movie, and this is a Jagged Edge problem. The random folks getting killed in the beginning of this movie drove cars there, and they're gonna go missing. Like no one goes to look for them. No one reports. It's so stupid. But anyway,
And it gets worse, folks. Buckle in. This is a rough ride.
Vanessa, the survivor, I guess, of the first movie, she gets out of there, and she's like living a life. She's living a life. She's retired military now. They let her retire. They gave her full pension, but she's British, so they're fine. You know, they have a good social services over there. But they won't let her stay retired because like there's like a never-ending stream of like conspiracy theorists and eco-friendly folks, and they want to find out what's happening in this radioactive area. And they just when she thinks she's out, they drag her back in.
So, how did you find me?
You hid well, I can tell you that.
It took some digging.
But what's even dumber about all of this shit, first of all, she's retired. What like look at her. She should have already been a pensioner. Second of all, they don't give you any reason as to why they're going back there. This is
To find something that's already been found. That's what they're going back for.
Right. So they're going there to clear her.
They all they have is step one of a plan. They want to like expose the military. Okay. Then what?
Yeah. It's like this turned into like the Underpants Gnomes plot, from South Park. It's like plan, point A, point B, something, 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 profit.
Exactly.
But it's even dumber because they don't have 2 and 3. They just have 1 and nothing.
Yeah, and she's the only soldier. She's like 65. She's the only soldier. So she trains like a forest ranger and a journalist and a bunch of other random folks. And the training montage is the funniest thing because like she has them running. None of them can run. She's teaching them to do rear naked chokes when they know there are dragons. It's the silliest thing I've ever seen.
She's having them do do like shoulder throws. She's having them shoot guns, which we proved from the first film that guns don't do shit against these creatures.
And she should know.
They're having him sidestep because sidestepping can easily clear a lava flow from a dragon's mouth.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this for?
So yeah, then they get to the area, and then it turns out like the military is still involved.
How did you know?
We have our ways.
Then we knew the military is still involved, and then like it's just a rehashing of the plot from the first one because these dragons are bioweapons, which we knew from the first movie. You're not revealing anything new, and they're controlled by whistles, really high tech stuff. And it just becomes like it's like the worst cloak and dagger horseshit like ever. It's like they tie them up.
Good. So you're still with us.
But they're not tied. Whatever. We'll take over.
Yeah, like it's I don't know who, like, as I believe both films came out in 2022. They pull one of the dumbest shit that a bigger budget movie actually pulled as well the same year. They had pulled the shtick of they pulled the shtick from of, hey, I'm tied up, but I'm not tied up now. I'm handcuffed, but I'm not handcuffed now. You know what other movie with a much bigger budget did that same year? Avatar: Way of Water. Except at that point, except with that film, they actually at least made a joke of, oh my god, how am I tied up again?
Yeah.
This film doesn't have the sense of even acknowledging how stupid it is.
Well, so. Get him!
And also, it's like do they have like it's they never really even flesh out like okay, so the whistles control the dragons, right? But like
Sure.
it doesn't matter who has the whistle. It doesn't matter if you blow the whistle, it's just an attack. But there's no rhyme or reason who it attacks or like it. Like I don't understand. Like, they never they don't give you the exposition you need
It's a trade secret.
over something so simple, ever in two films.
But they don't care, John.
Yeah.
It's,
And then
it's
how does it wrap up? The other girls, okay, so then they run out of the building, and then Vanessa gets captured, but she blows the whistle. You don't see what happens. And then the other girl, China, I guess her name is, like now she's like friends with the dragon, and then the movie just ends. Is that it?
right. Yeah.
Like
sure.
they're buddies, like the dragon like licks her face. Like it's crazy. It's
Yeah,
so
that was unsettling. But so basically,
and so it's left open, like because nothing's happening. Like the army is still there, the evil army is still there, the dragons are still there. People died, I guess, along the way, but like nothing. The movie was absolutely pointless.
because it tells us nothing more. It tells us nothing less. Like, at least it tells. Well, actually, no. It might as well just have told us nothing less because it still leaves you with more questions. So it's like, okay, great. Like she's gonna be like some like third-rate Khaleesi at the end of the film. Who gives a shit? It's like, and obviously these films are just churned out in McDonald's fashion. So if we were getting a third one, we would have gotten it by now.
Thank goodness. I mean,
So
I like leaving it on the end note that this girl's just friends with the dragons.
So yeah, maybe we'll get like a weird spin-off because I feel like some of these films that we see are just random spin-offs, or they'll show up in another like fucking movie.
Yeah, the CGI dragons will just be rehashed. They probably showed up in with Monster NATO. They were probably in there somewhere.
Yeah. Monster NATO, or that other like one that we saw like a couple weeks ago, where it's like all the
Monsters of War.
Monsters of War. There we go.
They'll show up again. And we're winding down these Jagged Edge films at least. So that's good. I don't have anything else to say about this movie. Do you?
Of course not. What could we have said more?
I don't know. Let's see what we read. I'm giving this 1 out of 5 just for the training montage. The training montage is the greatest scene in this movie. It is it's funny. Not meant to be funny because these movies are all played straight. But the training montage existing there, knowing what the mission is and seeing what the training is hysterical. Well,
I'm also going to give this one a 1 as well, because nothing these days is more offensive than a complete waste of my time. And the fact that I like made an effort to stay up as late as I did to make sure I watched this movie only to get nothing for my effort is just ridiculous. John is right though. That training montage is hilarious, which is why I didn't get the half star for just completely offending my senses at that point. But yeah. Also, I kind of feel like the fire effects were at least somewhat better than the weird CGI shit that we got the last time.
Yeah, so like I said, we're winding down Jagged Edge. Next week, we'll do one of the few remaining movies. I think we're going to do Wrath of Van Helsing next week.
I've been very curious about this one, to be honest.
The cover art alone looks great. Wrath of Van Helsing next week on Versus. If you made it this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror. Follow us on Letterboxd. I'm JWMaher. He is Will from YMB. You'll find us there. Schedule's the same on the channel. Monday, you're seeing this. Thursday's Why We Love Horror. Friday's Why We Love Horror Trivia. And if we do any special editions, we'll let you know on the Facebook page. But until next time, I've been JWMaher. That's Will Cohen, and this has been Versus.